to the garden, I got a little crazy. I did some pruning, and we're going to turn this into cuttings, hopefully. We've got geraniums, we have rosemary, we have different types of tomato suckers that I picked off. I know this tomato is going to take for sure. Tomatoes have adventitious roots, or what's called totipotency, around their entire stem here. And so roots will come out literally everywhere. So they're one of the easiest plants to root, even if you're not aeroponically propagating. So I'm taking off this little flowering tip right there. We don't really need that. I'll take off this bit of new growth for now. And this is good to go. Okay, our tomatoes. Tomatoes notoriously easy to root, and some of the most prolific ones. So you can see a beautiful, beautiful root system developing there. And it's really interesting how it develops in an aeroponic system. You can see sort of this splaying out in all directions.
Thank you, Kevin. I'll take it from here. Hi, guys. I'm Sherry from Tower Gardening Made Easy. And I just want to give a very warm thank you to Kevin from Epic Gardens for providing that little snippet on what cloning and propagating is. Now, this video was shot in 2019, and Kevin is using a workaround with a hydroponic aeroponic system that's different than our towers. So what I want to do today is I'm going to show you very similar to what he's doing, but I'm going to be using materials that we already have. So let's get into it now. Okay, welcome back, guys. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a sucker, not from my garden, but from my tower garden, and then we're going to go over the nursery, and I'm going to show you a workaround that you don't need to buy a separate system. Our towers are aeroponic and hydroponic, and one of the easiest plants to propagate is tomatoes. So as you see behind me, I have a tomato tower, and as you can see, it's chock full of tomatoes, and they're all in different stages. Some are ripe, some are green, and it's really not producing a whole lot of flowers at this point. So that just tells me we're kind of coming to the end. So my goal here with my grow room, as everyone knows, is it's to provide food. And one way of doing that now is to go ahead and do some cloning, but I'm going to show you in a different form so that you can go ahead and do this yourself, because the way that I'm going to show you, you already have all the supplies if you have a tower and you do tower gardening. And it's just a matter of how to cut it, how to plant it, and then to go ahead and really just go ahead and put it into your tower. It's really that simple, but it's the way that we're going to do it, and you don't need to buy anything extra. So let me just go ahead, and I'm going to try to get you guys a little bit closer here. And I'm going to be cutting a stem. I'm doing right there. So I've got a stem right here, and there's some flowers. You know, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice them, and I'm going to cut a little bit on the longer side. Now I'm just going to cut across. This is something I want you to pay attention when we go over to the nursery. So now we're going to walk over there, and come with me. I love what Kevin showed us, but the system that he has, you have to buy, and I don't really want you guys to spend extra money that you don't need to, because you already have everything you need. So let me just adjust the spider lights, just so my head's not cut off. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to show you this tray right here. Okay, I'm going to back up just a little bit. These are cuttings that I did. Sorry about that. About a week for some and 2 for another. And it was more of just a test to see whether or not this was going to work. And it did. And I'm proud to say that it was very successful. And so I'm going to be planting everything you see in this tray on camera with you in Tower 9. So if you haven't seen that video that I did last week, where we took the home tower, we put it together, and right now it's filled with water, nutrients, pH is on point, the lights are attached, and the timer is on, ready to go. So I'm going to show you this first, the workaround, and then we're going to go ahead and put these in there. I'm going to show you some of the roots too. Pretty impressive. So let me just get this out of the way, because this is the important part. Now, I don't know what you use for Rockwool. Let me see if I can get. I'm going to show you 2 different kinds. The kind that I like and the kind that I'm not too fond of. So this particular Rockwool has a teeny tiny hole in the center. It's just something that I bought on Amazon. I don't like it because when you break it apart, it doesn't come apart equally. Now, I particularly like the one from Tower Garden, this Rockwool. It has a bigger seed pot. So I'm going to show you this in a minute. That's just pay attention to that. It's very, very important. But it's just softer and it breaks apart evenly with no extra. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside because I already have some soaking. But it's important that you know which Rockwool that you have. All right, now, so you can see on this one, it has a teeny tiny little like seed port. So this actually is pretty good. But then when you go to press the stem in, as I'm going to in a moment, it's really difficult, and sometimes it can snap the stem. So be very careful of the Rockwool that you use. Again, I prefer the one from Tower Garden. I'm not promoting it, but it just seems to work a little bit better. So I've got a wet one right here. Okay. Now you're going to say, how are you going to do this? So in Kevin's video, he has like almost like a little net pot that goes into this hydroponic system. And again, we don't have to do that because this is going to be our like our seed like starter, if you will. So, but there's a little trick to this. I had to kind of figure this one out to get this right. So if you guys garden with me, you all know that I have what? A recycle bin, right? And here's my recycle piece. Now, what I want you to do, again, this has a very large seed pot, and it's not going to work if the stem isn't completely pressed into this. So go ahead and take a little bit of piece, and I want you to fill the hole. Okay, so just go ahead, water everywhere, and fill it. And then go ahead and put this aside. Now, the next step, again, is equally as important. You have this, stem with the suckers. Now, this has a lot of potential, but really what I'm looking for when you look at this is I'm looking for a straight, to the best of your ability, stem that can go ahead and clone or propagate. So I'm going to get rid of, because we don't want it to produce any fruit right now. We just want it to focus on growing some roots. So I'm going to get rid of anything that's too leggy. So you can see where I'm cutting. So now it's getting straighter. So there's a little guy right here, right there. You could actually trim him down, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to focus on this main stem here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut down on the bottom, and then I'm going to cut this little guy off. So now I have this perfect upright vertical stem. Now there are some flowers that were potential tomatoes. But again, right now I got to focus on getting these guys into the tower and getting them started because it's going to take a little time. I'm just going to snip this off and try to make it as straight as possible. So by the time that these reach potential of fruiting, I will be able to take my other tomato tower and flip it into something else. So do you see what I'm doing? At least in my grow room, I constantly want to rotate the crops. So I'm going to go ahead now. I cut the bottom of this on the tower just a few minutes ago. Now I want to explain something very important about stems. This is a sturdy stem, and tomatoes, again, are relatively easy to clone. But you want to get maximum water into the stem so that it will grow roots. And the roots will go from anywhere from the bottom, but they can also sprout from this teeny tiny area here. Anything that's submerged in water has potential to grow roots, and they will go horizontally, and they'll also go vertically. So you want it to end up like this. I'm going to get a tool. And, at the end of the day, when you put them in the tower, for the most part, these guys, see how they have the roots all the way around? Not so much on the bottom, but they're going to grow this way, and then they'll start to go down. But once you put them into your hydroponic, aeroponic system, or towers, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. So let's go ahead. Now, this is really important. Here is the plugged hole. I want you to turn it upside down, the stuff that would actually go into your grow pot. So go ahead and just place that onto the mat for 1 second. Now, stem. Off the tower, I cut it straight. Now on here, what I want to do is I'm going to try to get as close as I possibly can. I'm going to do a diagonal cut. And the reason is it's going to allow a little more water. See what I did? Okay, and it's also going to give you, and I want to get this in right away. So again, put your finger on the hole, and I want you to go to the side of it so that you're not pushing out that extra rock wall. See, it's a little bit difficult to get in there. So this rock wall works so well. So now it's completely encased in the rock wall. The plug on the bottom is nice and taut inside, and it's not wobbling. I'm going to go ahead and put it into my tray for a quick second and then just finish my thought here. Okay, so it's in the grow bin right there. I wonder if this will go up just a little bit more. No, okay. It's in the grow bin. With these guys, what I did, again, they were in here for a little over a week or so under the grow lights, and they were not domed. I just left them as is, and they've done perfect. I've had no issues. Within the first 48 hours, you shouldn't have any leaves that are wilting. Again, it's just the basic rock wall. It's just tap water. There are no minerals. It's just regular old water that I filled up from the room across the hall. And I just, did that, and they're just fine. So you want to leave them in here for about a week, and these guys are ready to go. And as an experiment, I think I'm going to throw the new guy in there just to see what he does, because I really do think that he will be just fine. I was really, really impressed with the amount of root system. I was like, is this actually going to work? Because in Kevin's video, I was like, well, it's in the rock wall, but we know that we use the rock wall for planting of everything, so why wouldn't it work? And what I love is the stem is it's grown from the top, and that stem is inside here, like this deep. I mean, it's not to the bottom, but it's pretty close. And it's still nice and plugged, but I just love the fact that all the roots are there. They look really, really healthy. Now, this second batch that I did, so that I could do this video with you guys, I don't see anything coming, but all the leaves are very, very taut. There's no wiggle in that top stem, and there's actually some flowering on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that, because I just wanted to focus on growing roots. And these guys, once they get in there and they get big enough, they will start fruiting. Like I said before, get to that fruiting stage, and I'll be able to flip that other tower, and we'll put something really fun on there. So let's go over to tower 9 and go ahead and throw these guys in there. All right. So tower 9 is a little bit shorter than my other towers. I'm going to add, I think, another section to it. So you can see it's, I'm 5'4", so it's a little bit shorter than me, but I'm going to order another 2 and then take the lights off and put them on when they get here, and probably put some more tomatoes, because the other tomato tower that I have is a flex, not a home. And I really, really like the amount of tomatoes that it's giving me, because I'm harvesting off of it every single day. So let me go ahead and get that tray. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take our newbie, and I may have to put these down and do this one-handed. So this is the one that I just did. Now, again, I would suggest putting these on your warming mat under your spider lights for a week, just to be safe. But I feel pretty confident that everything in my tray is good to go. And I really do think this guy is going to be fine. So I'm going to actually put him right here. And what I can do is update you guys in the post to see how it's doing. And you might be able to stick them right into the rock wall and put them right into your own tower. This is our aeroponic, hydroponic system. So you don't have to buy another, type of system and plug it in. I love the fact that, Kevin's promoting it, but you don't necessarily need it. Okay, I'm gonna have to put these on the windowsill. So we'll have to do it from back here. And I just want to adjust this one because it's kind of forward. And you know me, I like to have things starting close to the tower, because they inevitably will grow out. So I want to give them that opportunity to come forward. So let's go ahead and put these guys in there. I'm psyched. So another great point with this is that I know that this tomato plant that's on the tower right now is the indoor dwarfed tomato. And you can go to my website, towergardenmadeeasy.com. And it's right under my favorite seeds, right in the right-hand corner. It says bestseller. And those tomatoes are unbelievable. They're really, really good. So I'm going to stick this guy down here. And this is going to be tower number 2 of tomatoes. And I'm going to get him. I'm going to go sideways with him. So hope you guys are having a great day. I certainly am. I was so excited to come out and do this video today. So again, this has some really nice roots, and they came up really fast. Again, these are the older ones, but I really do like the Tower Garden Rockwool. It is rock solid. It really is. They've done a nice job with however they make it. They've done a very nice job. And the term I think that Kevin used was totipotency, which is where the stem, here we go, look at that root system. It's going to root from the area that touches that rock wall all the way down. So it's really nice. And I'm so psyched to get more of those cherry tomatoes. Really psyched. Because they are yummy. And it was so easy to pull these off of the tower. And I really didn't hurt the existing plant because there's so much on that tower. And you just have to make sure that stem is nice and sturdy and trim everything down. You know, even though you don't want to, it's really for the best of the plant. Oh, that looks really good. It's really, really good. The other thing too with the smaller seed pot, I actually went right into the hole because it was so small. So you don't really have to worry about flipping it over. But if you have that bigger seed well, that's when you want to plug it and flip it. But these guys, this one is just, it just seems a little more, I don't know, I guess woolly would be the word. I've actually gotten splinters from it. So these all look really, really good. Maybe you only have one tower and you've got maybe 2 plants on that tower and you really like your tomatoes and you still have seeds. This is going to expedite that. You are just forgetting that the beginning zone of having to start from a seed, which right there, you're looking at least 3 to 4 weeks between germination and getting them to a point where they are sturdy like this. I mean, there's lots of things that can go wrong. So why not take from what you already have to the best of your ability and start them like this? Because I've saved myself probably, I would say 6 weeks of growth. And I'm be very, very curious to see how long it takes from this propagation and cloning to actually getting tomatoes. So we're going to keep an eye on that to do a video and update. So yeah, these are all just really nice. And again, thank you so much to Epic Gardening and to Kevin for letting me use a little bit of that because your explanation was spot on. So I just want to make sure that Kevin and Epic Gardens get some credit. And go watch his video. If you go into his video, it's under cloning, and you can watch the whole thing there. So these are all doing great. Putting them in the new tower. And if you haven't watched that video, I rescued this from someone's storage space who had it in there, wasn't using it, in the same place I have a storage bin in Newport. So it's so funny. It's such a small world. So crazy. Okay, what do we got here? I got 2 more. I may have to do a few more. What do we got here? There. And then 1 more. Oops. Squished it. And then that's on the back side. So we'll put that one sideways. Maybe not. That little leaf just got killed. So let me just swivel that around so it doesn't get killed. All right. What do we got? This looks pretty full to me. I've got 1, so I've got 2 that I need to do. But that really is the how easy that is. Just put that back over there. to start out, even just a couple. Think about it. You already have the supplies in your grow room. If you only have one tower, you've got a tower, you've got the rock wall, and hopefully you have a tomato plant. And also too, if you don't have one, you could always, at this point, because I know up here in the Northeast, the garden stores are starting to open. Maybe you don't have one started, but maybe you can find one that's in a local nursery at this point, and all you got to do is, clip it and then go. You could take that one plant and take snippets from it, and then just go ahead and clone it and stick it right in your tower. Just make sure the variety is dwarfed. It's the cherry dwarf tomatoes that you want. You don't really want to grow the big ones. They tend to take over your tower, especially a little tower like this. That wouldn't be very successful. I tried doing a little bit of a rim of big ones, but it didn't go. Stick with the indoors. The cherry dwarfed, they're super yummy. I really enjoy them. My family really enjoys them. And here, my tower number 2. I'm very excited. So thank you for joining me. And again, thank you again to Kevin from Epic Gardens for sharing podcasts that I do on Wednesdays live at 11. Really good things there. Also, be sure to check out other videos, and we've got some really great stuff coming for you. Check out the lives that I've been doing. And look, I have my first swag. So we'll see you very soon. Thank you for joining me.